Hi everybody, we're doing chapter 23, the income or investment approach of appraisal, lesson 18. And we're going to kick some royal pigu. And 84, which one of the following would not be included in the operating expenses of a commercial property for purposes of determining its market value? And the answer is 2. Interest on the mortgage. Which one of the following would not be included in the operating expenses of a commercial property for purposes of determining its market value? And the answer is 2. Interest on the mortgage. Interest on the mortgage. 86. Which one of the following items is not likely to be available to an appraiser valuing a commercial property? And the answer is 3, the buyer's expected rent and expense forecast. This is usually not likely to be available to an appraiser valuing a commercial property. 3, the buyer's expected rent and expense forecasts. Yep, that's kind of hard to guess. And then we've got, all right, we are moving right along. Montering. See if I can stick this shit up here. Years. All right, now we got 149 on page 3. Consider the following statements regarding the income method of appraisal. I'm considering. Yes, I'm busy considering. Yeah, 3 is the answer. Which is true? Only statements B and C are true. Well, B and C are what? B, items specific to an owner or investor are omitted in the calculation of net operating income. Items specific to an owner or investor are omitted in the calculation of net operating income. And C, net operating income, NOI, does not consider depreciation, income tax, or debt service. These things are very true. And 149, the answer is yes, 3. Only statements B and C are true. So for income method of appraisal, let me say it again. Items that are specific to an owner or investor, they're not put into the NOI. And 3, the NOI doesn't consider depreciation. It also doesn't consider income tax. And NOI also does not consider debt service. So that's the income method of appraisal. Yeah. 191, in applying the income method of appraisal, depreciation is excluded from operating expenses in the calculation of the NOI, the net operating income. Which one of the following statements is an explanation of the reason depreciation is excluded? So why do we exclude it? 4, the life of a building is primarily determined by economic factors rather than physical condition. The life of a building is primarily determined by economic factors rather than physical conditions. So, because we're considering things economically, not just physically, we don't put the depreciation into the NOI. Yes, yes, and double yes. Alrighty then, so I am just going to keep moving forward until I find questions. 366, which of the following statements is false? And the answer for 366 is 2. 2. The market value of an income-producing property is best determined by averaging the sales prices of any 3 other income-producing properties which have recently sold. That is blatantly false. You cannot use the market value of nearby income-producing properties, recently selling. Because why? Because, they might be selling different things. One might be a dollar store, the other one might be a jewelry shop. So, hey. But these other things are true. Number 1, given that the NOI remains constant, the market price of the property falls as the required yield rises. What? The market value of a property falls as the required yield rises. If the required yield. Number 3, in the determination of an income-producing property's market value, an appraiser should not confuse gross realized income with NOI, net operating income. Okay, that's also true. And for the capitalization rate applied to the NOI of an investment property is related to the yield on comparable investment properties. Sounds good? Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Are you happy? I'm happy. 380 on page 6. Which one of the following items is deducted from the gross realized income to arrive at the NOI when preparing an appraisal using income method? Okay, let's back up here. Back up. We're using the income method. All right? To do an appraisal. Okay, income method. Yeah, we're doing them. And we are going to find an item to deduct from the gross realized income. Once we do that, we're going to arrive at our NOI. And guess what this item is for 380? It's number 3, the real property taxes. So we're gonna take the gross realized income. We're gonna minus the real property taxes, and we're gonna arrive at the net operating income, the NOI, and that's the income method of appraisal. 434. Operating expenses for appraisal purposes include, and the answer is, the drum roll please, 434, 2, property taxes. Operating expenses for appraisal purposes include 2 property taxes. Do not forget it. All right? All right, do not forget it. NOI includes property taxes. 490. Which one of the following is the best method for accounting for cyclical repairs in the appraisal of an income-producing property? Which one of the following is the best method of accounting for cyclical repairs in the appraisal of an income-producing property? And the answer for 490 is 3. Apportion the amount of the repair to an annual allowance. Okay? So I'll read it again, 490. Which one of the following is the best method of accounting for cyclical repairs? It means they're happening over and over again in the appraisal of an income-producing property. So the answer is 3. You apportion the amount of the repair into an annual allowance. So basically, every year you give an allowance. That's how you apportion it. 540, the income approach is not usually used for the valuation of single-family residences. The income approach is not usually used for the valuation of single-family residences. Okay. And page 7, 562. In appraising the income-producing property using the income method, gross potential rents must be estimated, right? How are gross potential rents best determined? And the answer is 4. It's based on actual current rents of similar properties. That's how you do it. In appraising an income-producing property using the income method, gross potential rents must be estimated. How are gross potential rents best determined? And the answer, again, I shall say, is 4. It's based on actual current rents of similar properties. You got it? Well, I got it. And then we go over to page 8. 607. Which of the following is false with respect to the estimate of vacancy rates in the appraisal of income-producing properties? And the answer is 2. Vacancy rates must be those existing at the time of the appraisal for the subject property. So let's read it again. Back up. Which one of the following is false with respect to the estimate of vacancy rates in the appraisal of income-producing properties? 2. Vacancy rates must be those existing at the time of the appraisal. All right? So whenever the appraisal takes place, you will look at the vacancy rate for the subject property. 633, an estimate of gross potential rents is achieved by, and the answer is 2, comparing rents for recently leased similar space. An estimate of gross potential rents is achieved by 2. Comparing rents for recently leased similar space. You got that? Alrighty then. I hope you got it. Yes, yes, and double yes. Page 11, 687. Which one of the following statements is true? And the answer is 4. The capitalization rate applied to the net operating income of an investment property is related to the yield on comparable investment properties. Let me read it again. The capitalization rate applied to the NOI of an investment property is related to the yield on comparable investment properties. You like that? Likey. 714. Which of the following is true with respect to the estimate of vacancy rates in the appraisal of income producing properties? And the answer is 4. Vacancy rates must be those expected to exist in the future. Which one of the following is true with respect to the estimate of vacancy rates in the appraisal of income producing properties? 4. Vacancy rates must be those expected to exist in the future. You got to expect that vacancies will exist in the future. You got that? Expect it. And then we've got, what do we got here? We've got page what? We've got page, wow, we have so many pages. Oh, page 17, 960. Assume the NOI of office buildings in your area have remained steady while the market capitalization rate has gradually fallen over the last year. This would mean what? And now for 960, it would mean number 1, the sales prices of office buildings have risen. Read it again, 960. Assume the NOI of office buildings in my area, Guildford, have remained steady while the market capitalization rate has gradually fallen over the last year. This would mean, and the answer is number 1, the sales prices of office buildings have risen. Yes, they have risen indeed. So there you go. I have done it. Chapter 23, lesson 18 is finito. I am so proud of myself. You know that? Yeah. So long, buddies. And get 100%.